Two fatal shootouts in broad daylight, one at a Joburg taxi rank and another in KZN. Police fired tear gas at angry protesters in Midrand today. And guess which country is the happiest in the world? Don't be shocked, it's definitely not us here in South Africa.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Hello, I'm Jane Dutton. The repo rate remains unchanged at 7.5%.
The world economy is experiencing extreme levels of uncertainty. Trade tensions have escalated, and long-standing geopolitical relationships are shifting abruptly. In these circumstances, the global economic outlook is unpredictable.
Police are searching for 6 suspects who shot and killed 4 people at the Nkomeni taxi rank in Johannesburg this morning. The shooting is believed to be linked to taxi violence in the area. 3 other people were caught in the fire and taken to hospital for treatment. Police say a taxi driver, a queue marshal, and 2 hawkers were declared dead on the scene.
A group of armed men, about 6 men, they were driving in a blue VW Polo vehicle. They came to this particular taxi rank in Durban and then they started shooting at people. And then after the shooting, they fled the scene.
Dumisani Makaya Drive in Durban is still an active crime scene after police shot and killed 4 suspects. It's understood that the suspected extortionists died after exchanging fire with police officers.
4 suspects who were sought for cases of extortion have been fatally wounded when they engaged in a gun battle with the police on Dumisani Makaya Road.
Solving any crimes in this country is a challenge made harder by the lack of resources and police. The Hawks are operating on only 51% of a staff complement and have more than 18,000 cases to solve. Controversial businessman Edwin Sodi's attempted murder case has been struck off the court roll. Sodi returned to the Randburg Magistrates Court where trial was expected to begin, but both the complainants in the matter were a no-show. The matter dates back to 2022 when Sodi allegedly tried to shoot his estranged wife, Ntateng, and a friend in the couple's Bryanston home.
Those were nonsense allegations, and, eventually we can see that they were never going to stick. It's taken this long for the court to come to the right conclusion. It's something that should have happened a long time ago. But it is what it is. I mean, we must, appreciate some of these things takes time.
Police fired tear gas at protesting residents in Rabi Ridge near Midrand in Gauteng, narrowly missing our reporter. They were trying to disperse residents who blocked roads with rocks and burning tyres. The community says they've been without electricity for at least 2 weeks now.
They send their contractors here, they fix this part, the next part breaks. We don't have electricity here. It'll be on today for like 9 hours, then off again 2 days, 3 days.
Electricity was eventually restored. Now, the incitement case of alleged July unrest instigator Duduzile Zuma-sambudla has now been adjourned for pre-trial conference. Zuma-sambudla appeared in the Durban High Court to stand trial today, but the matter was adjourned to the 14th of August for a pre-trial conference. She's charged with incitement to commit terrorism and 2 counts of incitement to commit public violence linked to the July 2021 riots.
The incitement case of MK Party Member of Parliament Duduzile Zuma-sambudla was back in the Durban High Court. She now stands trial for the incitement case where she faces 2 counts of incitement to commit public violence as well as terrorism-related charges. Duduzile is linked to the July 2021 unrest where we saw widespread looting. According to the state, she used her social media to influence or fuel the riots that took place back in 2021. Now, we've learned in court today that her lawyer, advocate Dalimbofu, had filed papers to the Director of Public Prosecutions in KwaZulu-Natal, that's Advocate Elaine Harrison, where she was actually basically asking not to be charged or tried in this matter, but that was declined. We've now learned through the NPA national spokesperson spokesperson advocate Duduzile that Zuma-sambudla now has an option to file similar papers to the Director of Public Prosecution at a national level. The matter will be back on the 14th of August for a pre-trial date. It's also been set to go for trial from the 10th of November to the 21st of December.
President Cyril Ramaphosa is not in a rush to appoint a new ambassador to the United States of America. South Africa is currently without one, following the expulsion of Ibrahim Rasool earlier this month.
The president is going to take his time in considering his options with regards to this appointment. The absence of an ambassador in Washington does not mean the absence of engagements with the Trump administration.
The president is urging political parties and organizations to refrain from antagonizing the USA when welcoming back expelled Ambassador Rasool on Sunday. The president's also taken a, quote, dim view of the Cape Independency Advocacy Group's planned trip to the USA to lobby for the secession of the Western Cape from South Africa. The group says it'll be sending a delegation to Washington to garner diplomatic support for their mission to create an independent Western Cape state.
There is no part of our beautiful land that can be allowed to secede.
Been queuing ever since 5:45 today, and yesterday it was 5:45 yesterday, and I was about 50th in a row, and they closed the doors at 4 o'clock. It's absolutely
Anger and frustration for thousands of people across the country trying to get their new Sassa cards today.
I don't understand why we have to change cards. 2, I don't understand why there's only 2 people working for Sassa for more than 200 people.
More than 200 Sassa beneficiaries outside the Katlehong shopping centre in Ekurhuleni were hoping to beat the deadline and get their new black cards. The Sassa Gold card will officially stop working at midnight. The new Postbank black cards will now be used for grant payments. Postbank says it'll continue issuing the new Postbank cards until the end of June at selected ShopRite, Checkers, USave, Pick n Pay, Boxer and Spar stores. Laurentia Lombard admitted to the court that she lied, was confused, made mistakes and couldn't remember certain details in her confession statement to police. The testimony of former accused turned state witness Lombard came under intense scrutiny today in the Joslin Smith trial. Her testimony has implicated Joslin's mother, Kelly Smith, Jacqueline Apollos and Stefano van Rijn for being complicit in Joslin's disappearance. For the 8th year in a row, Finland has taken the #1 spot, being the happiest country in the world, according to the World Happiness Report. Denmark, Iceland, Norway and Sweden also made up the top 10. The report ranked countries according to self-assessed life evaluations over the 2022 to 2024 period. When it comes to decreasing happiness, the United States has dropped to its lowest position at 24. Afghanistan is again ranked as the unhappiest country in the world, with Afghan women saying their lives are hard. And out of the 195 countries, South Africa sits at number 83. Wishing you a happy evening. See you for more again next week.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.